Do you sew or, use fabric in any craft projects or anything? If so, you know how high fabric can cost at the fabric store, if you can find a fabric store. Some of them have been going out of business. But it's expensive to buy new fabric at a fabric store. So I'm going to share a couple ways that I find fabric for a much better price. And it's good stuff too. One reason I like to shop secondhand for fabric is it's cheaper. That's the main reason. I love a bargain. I'm frugal in just about every way possible. And craft supplies and fabric and anything like that is no exception. I like to get a good deal. And I shop at, shockingly here, big news, thrift stores and estate sales, garage sales, places like that. Because I've been known to do this. People buy fabric and they don't use it. Go figure. But it's a good hobby to collect fabric. And if you have it on hand, then you can sew whatever you want. I've been dwindling down my fabric supply, but I recently went to an estate sale in the neighborhood on a Thursday. They had it on Thursday, then Friday, and Saturday. And I meant to go back on Saturday, but I didn't make it before they closed. Then on Sunday, I saw that the estate sale workers were there. So I just walked down and said, I was here the other day and I meant to come again yesterday, but I missed, it was closed. So could I look at some fabric? And they said, sure. So I pulled out, I will show you what I found. This was left over after the sale was over. And they were just kind of cleaning up and boxing things up. So I knew they would want to get rid of things. What I really went for was tablecloths. They had some of these beautiful print tablecloths, and I love them. This is a small one. This is a quarter of it, but it was the only one left, so I picked it up. Plus, I went ahead and looked at the fabric because they had it all hanging neatly on hangers. And I found quite a few good ones. I found this. It's a little cross design, white with brown crosses. And I thought that was great. It would be kind of a neutral for something I have in mind. Then I found this, which I really like. It's cream, kind of a whitish cream color background with yellow, green, and black. Sort of a large plaid design. And this is a lot. This is probably 3 yards. But I'm going to tell you about the width here in a minute of the fabrics. Of this one, and the third one, this. This is adorable. Look at this. Little tigers standing next to kind of like a zoo or circus cart that he would be carried in from one place to another. I thought this was lovely. I love it so much. I wish, I don't know, there might be enough to make some pajamas out of it for me. It'd be great for little kids, but I love it. I got all of these, 3 fabrics and a tablecloth for $2. That was great. The tablecloths were marked $3 on Thursday, the first day of the sale. And I could have afforded to pay $3, but I thought, the last day of the sale is always cheaper. Sometimes they take things, mark them half off, or whatever, $1 each. So I thought I was really planning to go on Saturday when it was still open. Didn't get there in time. So I was thrilled to find this large amount of fabric and a little pillowcase, or little tablecloth for $2, 50 cents each. And also on Thursday when I went, I found a pair of retro pillowcases. I love these things. I love this kind of 70s or 60s retro fabric. These were new in the package, 50 cents. That was a really good deal. And I could use this as fabric if I wanted to. It's a big old pillowcase. But I may just keep them to use on my bed, on my pillows. We'll see. But that's that's just one example of some fabric that I've found that is so much cheaper than buying new fabric at the store. And all of this, the tablecloth may have been used, but all of the fabric was brand new. And in fact, I'm going to show you what I did to get it ready to use. And I'm just soaking it in the cool water with about a half of a scoop of my handmade laundry soap. And I will let it sit for 30 minutes, and then I'll rinse it really well and dry it and be able to use the fabric. I wanted to show you the water after I've let this white and brown fabric soak for about half an hour. It really took out a lot of that brown color. So I'm going to drain the water, and I will rinse this a few times until the water runs clear. And I have my fabric out here on my drying rack, out in the sunshine. It'll be dry in no time. I wanted to show you this vintage fabric is smaller, not as wide as regular fabric. Here is the number one, and over here it's about 36 inches. Regular fabric from the fabric store that's newer is generally 45 inches wide or 60 inches wide. So this is 9 inches less wide or narrower than newer fabric. And I don't know when this is from. It could be from the 40s or 50s, 60s, I don't know. As long as I've been buying fabric, it's been 45 or 60. And I started buying fabric in the 70s. So I really don't know. I didn't look it up. But I think it's interesting that it's not as wide, but it's still very cool. Look at those little lions or tigers. They're adorable. So the narrower width is not a problem. It's just something to be aware of. And I also wanted to show you some fabric I found through the years at thrift stores. This is some fun money fabric. I haven't used it for anything, but I think it's great. Then some sea turtles, some fun paisley designs, some flowers. This is cute. Frogs. And these are all just remnants. They're not big pieces. And then just this kind of confetti looking pattern. And I can use these to make little patchwork quilts or little wall hangings that I like to make. I can do all kinds of things with them. Some of them are big enough I could use them for the backing of a small blanket or something. So when I buy fabric like this at the thrift store, it's usually folded kind of like this and then doubled around, and they put like a band of paper and tape it on and write the price on it. And it's usually like $1 or 50 cents. It just depends. And sometimes they put several pieces together and it might be $2 or something. It may not be enough for like a shirt or a top or whatever you want to make. So you have to keep that in mind. And you may have to buy new fabric for certain projects. But for what I do, the remnants work great. And I wanted to talk about something to consider when you're buying used or secondhand fabric, because the ones I found at the estate sale, they were new, but they were vintage pieces. And they didn't have an odor. They felt crisp and new, like they'd never been used or washed or anything. And that's what I'm looking for. If anything has like a strong smoky odor, because sometimes you cannot get that out. If somebody smoked in a house and the things were, stored away, it absorbs all those odors. And also mildew, you need to check and see if they were stored somewhere kind of damp or wet and have mildew on them. Fabric can mold, just like anything else. So it's a good idea when you're looking for secondhand fabric to check the condition and go ahead and ask if if it's bundled up, if you can open it and look at everything, because they may be trying to hide something. So condition is very important. It's not a deal if you can't use it. So I just wanted to end with a rundown of the tips. If you're going to buy secondhand fabric or craft supplies or anything, check the condition. Make sure it's really a good deal. If you're going to an estate sale, like I did, go on the last day if you want. If you've been on the first or second day or whatever, and you want something but you don't really need it, it's like, well, I'd like to get it but at a better price, go on the last day and try to bargain a little, because the people running the estate sales want to sell everything. They don't want to have to box it up and donate it or whatever they do with it. So you have a better chance, like I did. I got all 3 pieces of fabric and a tablecloth for $2, and it would have been closer to $10 or more if I'd bought it the first day. And I didn't really need any of it, but for $2, yes. I kind of wish I'd gotten more. I have to say, it's not wrong to buy fabric you don't know what to do with or what you're going to do with, because I do it all the time, so it can't be wrong. But it's nice to have a variety on hand just in case. And if you're new here, I'm Do-It-Myself Peg. This is my YouTube channel about frugal living and a variety of other topics. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more content like this, consider subscribing. It helps out my channel so I can keep making more videos. And I will see you next time.